Hi guys, Chris had asked for a little help on setting up the Cinema 4D reflections, and rather than try to do it and write it in an email, I figured I'd try to do a quick screencast here and show you the files in kind of a walkthrough format and see if that works better. So anyway, let's jump in, take a look at the files I sent along, and we'll show you how to do this, okay? So let's look at the the 3D file here. In that folder there's a little test file, reflection guide C4D, and then also a screenshot. And what we're going to do is go over the workflow of going from Cinema to After Effects and compositing on the screenshot. So let's start with the C4D file. Go ahead and open that up. And if you navigate here to the screen object, what we need to do is put on a compositing tag there. So the first thing we're going to do is right click and go up to Cinema 4D tags and choose compositing. And then once that tag is selected, we want to jump over here to the object buffer tab, click on that, and then click enable. And what that's going to do is render out an alpha matte of just the screen. So when we drop in the new screenshot, we can mask it to just the region of the screen. So that's going to be the mask. The second part that we need, click on the screen object again and right click up to Cinema 4D tags, and then choose external compositing. And what that's going to do is essentially record the position, rotation of the object, in this case the screen, in relation to the camera and the lights and all that sort of stuff. So we're going to need that piece. So once that's done, it's pretty much set up to export. Let's go up to the render options. We'll run through that real quick. Full render, we want that. Output, whatever the size you want. In this case, we're going to do just a still render really quick, but you could do an animation sequence and be able to map that screenshot onto the device. So under save, let's go ahead and turn on save, and let's also check multipass. So in the save, as soon as you check that, the multipass option appears. You can pick your path or whatever. In this case, I'm just going to do a Photoshop file. 16-bit is good to get rid of the banding and that sort of stuff, so make sure you do that. A straight alpha is going to give you a cleaner composite. And then down here, this is important, the compositing file, project file, make sure all these guys are checked and then it's set up to go to After Effects, and that's associated with this guy, the external compositing tag, and that's what's going to capture all of your camera data and everything. Next, let's go over to multipass. We don't need to separate the lights, just go. So as soon as this is checked, you want to make sure you go down to this multipass button and click on RGBA. That's going to give you the base image render plus the outline alpha. So make sure we get that one. And then also under multipass, grab an object buffer and make sure it's set to 1. And that's the same thing as over here, object buffer 1. So that's all the pieces that we need. Now click on anti-aliasing, make sure it's best. I usually do still image so it's super crispy, and that's pretty much it. So then we can go ahead and render. Alright, now that the render is done, let's jump over and look at the files that it output. So if we click in here, you can see the pieces that it rendered out. The first one is our object buffer, and that's essentially just our screen alpha. Next one is the RGBA, which is the image plus the alpha for the object. And then there's this AEC file, and that's that external compositing tag data. So now what we're going to do is jump over to After Effects, and we're just going to import in our AEC file. And we can go through all the pieces here. There's the project file, the camera data. Here's the RGBA. Here is the object buffer. And then here's a null object that's our screen placeholder. And that's what we're going to swap for the screenshot. So let me just clean up the file here. I'm going to move everything into here, rename that source. Okay. Now let's also import our screenshot. So we have it all in there. Okay. Now if we open up this, take a look at the file. Here's all the pieces that come in, and it comes in already stacked and layered for you. So if we take a look at it, you can see it has all the external compositing tag grabbed all of the data for the position, rotation, orientation, that sort of thing. And the one we care about is the screen right here. If we open that up, that's our data for the screen. So what we want to do, drag in our screenshot and put it above the object. First thing we need to do is turn it into a 3D object. So we do that, and now we want to click on the screen null and grab all the data. Roll that up. And paste it in here. There we go. And first thing we'll notice is it's extremely large, a little too big. Second thing we'll notice is the offset is off. So for some reason I'm on the new version here of CS4 and 11.5, and the anchor points aren't quite right. So if we just adjust this to half the resolution, 240 by 400, it centers up just fine. I think that's a bug or something, but okay. So now you can see that the screenshot is perfectly aligned with our screen object. And the next thing we want to do is bring in the object buffer. So if we grab this and drag it on top of the screenshot, this is going to mask out the region that we want. So if we toggle over and set the screenshot to LumaMat, it's only going to show through the screen area. So also, let me change the background color so you guys can see a little better. There we go. So now you can see that the screen's going to be masked by that LumaMat. And so now we just need to scale it to something that looks about right. Perfect. Okay. So the next thing you notice is the screen's all mapped in there nice, but we don't have the reflection. So to get the reflection, what we're going to do is take our original RGB layer that has a nice reflection, and we're going to composite that onto the screen. Okay, so now what we need to do is take our base layer here, and we're going to duplicate it. We're going to call it reflection, and we're going to move it up above everything else here. And so we've got our nice reflection here. What we're going to do is set it to screen so we can see through. There we go. And so we just adjust the opacity, you'll notice that it's affecting both the screen and the device. So what we need to do is somehow mask that off. So if we take our mask and we duplicate the mask, move it above the reflection, and set it to LumaMat. Now it's only going to be affecting the screen itself. So we just need to set it to something nice, you know, too bright, too dark, something in there looks nice. So, alright, that looks good. So one last step is to change the material of the screenshot. Because the screen is supposed to be a backlit, illuminated material, we need to change that. So if we go into the screenshot, twirl it down to the material options right here, scroll down. Right now it's set to accept lights and shadows, and so what that's doing is this object here, the After Effects light is actually illuminating this object, and we don't want that because we want it to be backlit. So if we turn this off, you can actually see, if I toggle it on and off, one looks kind of backlit and illuminated, and one looks a little bit dull. So we want it to be on, so it looks a little more illuminated. So so that's it. That's pretty much everything. Hopefully that helps. Let me know if it's a good way to walk through things, and we'll do some more of them. So all right, that's it. Thanks, guys.